Okay, friends, I feel like when I come on here, I'm truly just preaching, but this is like a story time, right? And it's kind of funny because it's like the first time I heard the voice of God and truly saw it like into the spirit or whatever, right? And so I struggled with disbelief. This is like background. Struggled so hard with like believing God speaks to me or believing God speaks, all these things. I was just like, yeah, he's God and can talk, but anyway. So 2019, I just like come home because I went to boarding school, fun fact, and we were watching a TV program, right? Then I heard something, like God told me something, and I heard it very clearly, and I saw something very clearly. But I like me now would believe back then I was like, boy, do I have an active imagination, right? And I said, ugh, why would I hear that? And then I just knew it was for like in my spirit I knew, but I was like, no. And then I said, okay, Lord, let's test this out. The Bible tells us to test every spirit. So I said, okay, bet. I said, Lord, if this is from you, let me see a person wearing green, right? And I kind of giggled. I said, haha, that's not from God, so therefore there's one in green. So I opened my eyes after that prayer, and the first person like I see is like wearing a green jacket. And I said, God, that's a lie, because maybe I saw him because my eyes were kind of cracked open. I said, Lord, I want to see a person in green. So I was like hoping for like a green shirt, something. Then like the TV pans up to the pastor who's like walking onto stage. And this man is wearing all green. I'm not joking when I say all green. Green shirt, green tie, green pants, green jacket. And like in my spirit, I heard, is that enough? And out loud, I start cracking up. Like I'm laughing so hard. My mom is like, what's wrong with you? And I kind of tell her what I heard. And she's like, amen, amen, all that. And I sat there like for a week. I was like, whoa. And now as a more mature Christian, I realize God plans everything out for us sometimes because God knows us. And I said this to someone the other day. God has planned for your disbelief, your stupidity, your mistakes, and his plan for you and his for your life, right? And this turned into a little preaching. But God knew I was not going to believe I heard from him. And I think the intricacy of how God's plan is always hits me at the most insane time. And like I didn't process that moment until like a couple of years after. But God is truly funny to me. God knows you're going to test him, and he wants you to test the spirit that's speaking to you. The story of Gideon is told by God, you're going to lead an army into battle. Gideon looked around and said, Lord, do you see these people? Like, do you really see them? These people are not going to win a war. And he's like, Lord, I'll trust you, but I'm going to test you. And God was like, okay. And he also kind of did the things that Gideon was asking him. Lord, let the ground be wet, but this like piece of wool be dry. Let the ground be dry, but this piece of wool be well, whatever. And God did it to show him that he is God. God tells us to test every spirit, not because he thinks we're not going to test him, but for us to know that he's truly God. And in that moment, I think it kind of started to solidify the fact that God speaks very clearly to me. And I sat and giggled. Like when I tell you to this day, anytime I think about that moment, I said, Lord, I really tried you. Because that was not the only time. There are so many other moments in my life. But like that was the first time I can vividly say, I asked the Lord to give me a sign that he's speaking to me, and he gave it to me very fast.